PA. I was living in South America for a while, and then I came back to the United States with a brand new wife, and I was hoping to help out the Spanish-speaking community here in the Twin Cities with a consulting business. And so the idea was to help people who needed assistance with their forms and immigration type, point them in the right direction. But the reality is I was getting paid with food, with like tamales and empanadas. And we had a little baby, and you can't buy diapers at Target with tamales or empanadas. So after about a half a year of that, I saw that there was a part-time Spanish teaching job at SPA for a brand new middle school that was opening in 2000, and I applied and I got that job. I think my parents, my mom was a music teacher, my dad was a businessman. But both of them taught me to go after my dreams and to be kind of fearless and take chances. But what really got my attention were the adventure type games. And so the first one that I remember playing was called Zork. And it was a text adventure. So today, you play a game and it's like a first person and you're exploring areas and maybe you're battling people or things. But this was, you had to type 2 words in order to get your to move around the world. And everything was text, there were no pictures. So it'd say something like, you are in front of a White House, there is a mailbox. So you would type, open mailbox, and it would say, there is a note inside. And you would say, read note. And then the note would say, there is a dangerous cavern underneath this house. And so you'd have to type to go east or west. So those are the types of things that I started out playing. But now my kids are gamers and I play some of the games they like to play, like Thief and what's the one that they're into Tomb Raider and all those kinds of things. So I think no matter where you are in life, there's always a struggle at some point in your life, and it always changes. I've been pretty lucky and haven't had to struggle with a lot of major things in my life, but I would say probably the biggest question that was posed to me at one point in my life was whether or not I really wanted to get married and have a family. Because it was a big change from where I'd been previous to being married and having a family. I was independent on my own. I had my own salary. I didn't have to worry about where I lived so much. I didn't have to worry about taking care of others. And so deciding whether or not to get married and have a family was probably not a struggle, but the biggest question I've ever faced in my life. And I'm married, and I've got 3 children, and so you can see that I took on that struggle. I'm in my late 40s. And I've got a 9th grade son, an 8th grade son, and a 6th grade son. And I think right now my biggest dream is to watch them grow and move through school and graduate and find a life and a career that they're interested in. And if they decide to have families, to be able to participate with them and their families and to be a grandpa one day. I think I've always wanted to be involved in education in some form or fashion, but I haven't always wanted to be a teacher. In fact, when I was graduating from college as an undergrad, I really wanted to become a museum curator. I studied a lot of art history, and I'm big into history, and I felt that art that you find in a museum, whether it's paintings or sculptures, really take you back to the tangible pieces of history, things that people made back in the day. So it was, to me, a lot different than reading a book that had been written in the last 20 years about history that maybe happened 500 or 1,000 years ago. To be able to see and work with art from the time period that it was made was really cool for me. But then eventually I fell into teaching. I was a middle school religion teacher for a while, and then spent some time in South America as a missionary, and then came back up here and got a part-time job as a Spanish teacher at St. Paul Academy 16 years ago, and the rest is history.